Today I was at the grocery store, and as I was picking up a gallon of milk, I suddenly unlocked a memory of a video game from my childhood that I hadn't even thought about in years. Go. Lego Island was the first Lego game ever released back in 1997. I'm not actually quite that old, but by the time I got into gaming, my family still had a copy, so I still ended up playing a good bit of it. And if you grew up with video games around this time, I'm sure you played this game too and just haven't thought about it much since. So today I wanted to revisit this gem and rediscover what this nearly 30-year-old game was like. Is it how we remember it? Or did it age like that gallon of milk that guy drank that one time? Your first task for Lego Island is to actually get the game running. It will not work on most modern hardware right out of the gate. By the way, shout out to Xanthera for making this beautiful tutorial on how to fix it. With minimum system requirements like a 120 megahertz processor and 16 megabytes of RAM, would you believe that this game was considered a resource hog back in the day? The most recent game I can think of where that was a big complaint is Cyberpunk 2077. Both open world games released for hardware that struggled to run it. Lego Island is literally the Cyberpunk of 1997. Only difference being that Lego Island was actually well received. After installing some extra files and doing some configurations, we're finally able to jump in. But we still have to be somewhat careful because the game has a good number of bugs. Like, I'm pretty sure that the escape key is supposed to bring me to an exit menu, but anytime I pressed it, the game just stuttered and beeped and eventually crashed. I guess in a way you could say it still worked. It did exit the game. But apart from some mostly expected hitches, this is Lego Island, more or less exactly how I remember it. We are greeted by a character called the Infomaniac.
Hello! Hola! Welcome! Bienvenue! Konnichiwa! Aloha!
This guy has to be the zaniest character I've ever seen in anything. Imagine if every time I did a video, I just went, "Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I have a great video for you today." We create our profile, which I named Poop, and are presented with 5 characters we can pick to play as. Mama Briccolini works in the pizzeria with her husband, another playable character, Papa Briccolini. Nick Brick is a cop presented to us in classic noir fashion. Laura Brick is another cop and is Nick's sister, not his wife. Google AI literally tried to convince me they were married based on some random wedding post on Facebook of a couple who also happened to be named Nick and Laura. The real couple's last names aren't even Brick. Google, how did you put these two things together? Now we have all of these options, but really the only character that matters is Pepperoni.
I'm the pizza delivery dude, the dude with the food! Check it out! Perfect angle! 45 degrees!
He's the adopted son of Mama and Papa Briccolini and works as the delivery boy for the restaurant. He's also the only character you can access the story of Lego Island with. And we'll talk about the story soon enough. First, I need to show you around this starting area. This, of course, is the main room where you log in and pick your character. Head to the next room over and we're presented with an elevator. Take it up 1 floor and you get to see, this. That's literally all that happens here. And take it up 1 more floor to the roof and you get to see this view of the island as well as a control panel to change the time of day and the color of the sky. Necessary? No, but in case you really wanted to play this game with a Fallout 3 puke green sky, you can. Back down the elevator into the next room over, we have the front door leading outside. Just like from the roof, you get another scenic view of the world. Lego Island really walked so Breath of the Wild could run. As you take your first steps into the world, you'll notice that the controls are awful. You have 2 options. You can either click on the screen to move, which feels floatier than swimming through a pool in space, or you can walk around with the arrow keys, which is somehow the exact opposite, just completely stiff. And anytime you turn in this game, you turn at 1,000 miles per hour. Whoa, hey, hold on, just a little bit. Oh, okay. No matter how you do it, moving around in this game just feels bad. Honestly, some of the worst controls I've experienced in a long time, maybe even just ever. While the act of walking itself isn't very fun, actually going out and exploring the world is. When you run into other people, they fall apart, and it's oddly satisfying too. I find myself going out of my way to hit everyone I can while I'm walking around. You're also constantly getting stopped to observe a conga line, 2 dudes playing volleyball with another man's head, Pepper doing a front flip, I think I'd compare it to walking through an episode of the Eric Andre show. Just a constant barrage of random shit happening. Normally getting stopped to look at something in a game would be annoying. Just some character going, "Here, look at this fucking thing for a side quest that you're never gonna do." That's what every single one of those guys sounds like to me. Yeah, side quest. But here, Pepper just wants to show you his sick grind, and I'm all for it. The world of Lego Island is full of pure, unabashed silliness, and a lot of the writing for these scenes is actually funny.
Well, don't drop him!
You mean like that other guy?
Whatever happened to him?
Who?
The other guy!
We dropped him!
Pepper, or should I say paper? That's how you spell it, don't you? That's what I heard. You can't spell or read too well. Hey, read this.
Best pizza on the island, even if it wasn't the only pizza on the island. I just ate 10 quadruple garlic and bean pizzas while listening to songs on the jukebox.
Hey, condiment boy.
I'm surprised to say, I audibly laughed at a lot of moments, and that's not something I can say about most kids' games. You can tell that the creators genuinely had fun putting this game together. But this game isn't all about walking around and seeing what happens, although that is a pretty big part. You can also visit specific points on the island to play minigames. Allow me to give you the grand tour. This is the gas station where you can build a car and drive it. And this is the racetrack where you can build a different car and drive it. And this is the beach where you can build a jet ski and drive it. I'm starting to see a pattern here. The biggest flaw of this game is that there just isn't that much to do. There are a fair number of places to go to, but not all of them actually do anything. Like, I tried to go to the bank to check on my savings and maybe even make a withdrawal, but instead of giving me my money, the entire building just spun around. And when you do go somewhere that actually has a minigame for you to play, it's pretty much the same as every other one. In almost every minigame, you build the vehicle that they give you, and then do some variant of driving with that vehicle. And I'm not gonna beat around the brick here. The driving is not fun. Everything handles the same as you're walking, which, might I remind you, works about as well as trying to use a single noodle for a fork. This doesn't work. The racetrack wouldn't be so bad if it weren't for this giant skeleton that kicks you into oblivion. He's so touchy and hard to dodge, and the first time he kicked me so far, I didn't know where I was anymore. The jet ski racing is wave race, but they threw in every possible obstacle they could think of. Also, what the hell is happening over there? Are you okay? At the police station, you can build a helicopter and fly it over the island. This one was actually pretty cool. For a whole 10 seconds. After that, you've seen everything. At the hospital, you can build an ambulance and drive it around to watch the medics solve different issues. My first emergency was at the pizzeria where a man was choking. So the medics had to perform the Heimlich, and it turns out the man was choking on a shark, which was also choking on a dog, which was choking on a cat, which was choking on the bird Papa Briccolini uses to make calls. This one is somewhat fun just because you get to see all the silly little cutscenes play out, which is what you do when you're just walking around the island anyway. At the gas station, you can also do a towing minigame. Since you already built the regular car here, you don't have to build this one, but it doesn't amount to anything different from what you've already seen. You drive to the racetrack, tow a car, drive back to the gas station, and that's it. There is one minigame that I haven't gotten to yet, and that's the pizza delivery game. I used to think these pizzas looked so good as a kid. I wanted to try one so bad. And you know what? I'm 21 years old now, and I still want one. Look at that, that looks delicious. All these fancy modern games with their beautifully rendered food. And this is the thing I want to try most. You head over to the pizzeria, they go,
Pepper, take this pizza to the jail.
ow, what the hell? And then you go deliver the pizza. But along the way, everything is trying to stop you. Trees, people, cars, sharks, even ghosts don't want you to make it. Oh, hey, I got a za for a Kyle with a C. Oh, it's actually Kyle, but with a C. Right on, Kyle, but with a C. That'll be $18.99. I actually wanted to talk to you about that. This pizza's over an hour late, man. I'm not paying for it anymore. You can take it back. Oh, yeah, dude, I'm totally sorry about that. I was going as fast as I could, but along the way, a bunch of ghosts were trying to stop me. Oh, really? Ghosts? Yeah, dude, and there were a bunch of sharks on the road. I had to get around them too. But why would there be sharks? We're not even anywhere near an ocean. And for some reason, some guys decided to start building a fence in the middle of the street. Wait, what? Yeah, and I was gonna call you to tell you about the delay, but turns out our work phone is a bird. Can you believe that? This entire time we've been talking to a bird like it's a phone. I don't even know how we get orders. Okay, look, if I just give you the money, will you go? Did I mention there was an ambulance going whoa, 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 dropping umbrellas everywhere? Each character has a different spot they deliver to, and it never changes. I played as Papa and did the delivery game 10 different times to see if it ever changed. I don't know, maybe I just had really bad RNG. It didn't. It didn't change. I delivered to the racetrack 10 times. Mama delivers to the police station, Nick delivers to the gas station, Laura goes to the hospital, and if you're playing as Pepper, the
Dude with the food.
you deliver it to the jail where the Brickster resides. Oh, you don't know about the Brickster? Let me tell you. Today he's known as Lego Island's biggest criminal, a man of pure evil. But he wasn't always this way. About 40 zillion years ago, the man you know as the Infomaniac created Lego Island, and the Brickster was the first figure to be given life. The two became best friends, and things stayed that way for a long time. Until one day, the Infomaniac said that he wanted to create another figure. This threw the Brickster into a jealous rage. He went nuts, bonkers, totally loony. He even began to believe that he was the one who created the Infomaniac and Lego Island. He began stealing bricks from around the island and went off to create one for himself called Ogle Island, which he constructed to be the complete opposite of Lego Island in every way possible. At some point, the citizens of Lego Island were able to catch the Brickster and put him behind bars, but for how long? To this day, he plots his escape, as well as the demise of Lego Island and its inhabitants. The Brickster is hatching a plan to escape, and Pepper has just fulfilled the final step of that plan. By delivering that pizza, the Brickster was able to use its fumes to soften the lock on his door and break free. This is actually a really cute detail. It's a running joke in the game that Pepper doesn't know how to read, and right next to the jail, there's a sign that says no pizza. But if you're playing as Pepper, it says no pizzazz. After breaking out, the Brickster steals the helicopter you built earlier. Oh yeah, you have to build the helicopter first, otherwise he just throws the pizza away. As soon as he flies off, he gets right to work taking apart the island. Nick and Laura hop on the case and ask for your help to catch the criminal and put him back where he belongs.
What you say, little buddy? Help us catch a dangerous, crazed maniac?
Officer, I am 12. You decide to help out, and your first task is to chase down the Brickster while Nick and Laura collect evidence. Isn't this a little backwards? Shouldn't I be collecting the evidence while you guys go after the bad man? Not only am I a kid while you're the actual cops, but you also have motorbikes. I'm on a skateboard, and it looks like we're going uphill from here. Against all sense of reason, you have to follow the Brickster as he tosses helicopter parts out of the back of an ambulance he stole. You pick up the pieces while staying in pursuit, and he eventually manages to escape into a cavern where you can no longer follow him. Nick and Laura conveniently return after all the action is over, and now you have to find a few more helicopter pieces scattered around the island. In case you thought this might be the slightest bit difficult, don't worry, because each part makes the most eardrum fracturing noise possible. After you've collected all the pieces, you can finally rebuild the helicopter, and it's time for the final confrontation. It's all or nothing now. You fly the helicopter as Nick and Laura give chase on their scooters, all while the Brickster is deconstructing the final buildings on the island. You have to shoot pizzas at the Brickster in order to distract him and lure him towards the cops, and shoot donuts at Nick and Laura in order to give them the speed boost. This had potential to be the best minigame. It's at least different from everything else, and you actually have to put a little bit of thought into what you're doing, but it's held back by, again, just awful controls. It is so hard to line up your shots. And on top of that, Nick and Laura kinda just go wherever they want, which for whatever reason seems to always be in the opposite direction of the Brickster. Come on, Nick, you're right on his tail. He's right there. Just a little bit more. You can. What are you doing, Nick? Why are you turning? He's over there. What are you doing? All right, surely you guys have him this time. He's completely cornered, nowhere else to go. Both of you are going towards him. Or not. Yes, thank you, Nick. Come on, just keep going. No, what are you, Nick? You just had him. If you fail to get Nick or Laura to make contact with the Brickster before he steals all of the buildings, you lose the game.
It's mine, all mine.
Jesus Christ, the Brickster is actually terrifying here. The scariest part about all of this is if you fail, you have to redo the storyline all over again. It's not super long or anything, but... All right, build the helicopter, deliver the pizza, grab the parts, make it stop, build the helicopter again. Dear Lord, may my aim be true and my pizza's plentiful. I'm pretty sure I only won this because I accidentally got the Brickster stuck on a donut. And even then, it took forever to get Nick and Laura to catch him. We put the Brickster back in jail and the island is safe. That's Lego Island for you. It hasn't aged nearly as well as some of its contemporaries, but I can still appreciate it for what it is. As the first Lego game, it set the standard for all future Lego games. Name your favorite one. Lego Harry Potter, Lego Lord of the Rings. I hear Lego DC Supervillains actually goes pretty hard. For me personally, my favorite was Lego Star Wars The Complete Saga. Whatever it is, they all have Lego Island to thank for taking that first step. It is absolutely filled to the brink with silliness and charm. Even if the gameplay wasn't all there, the vibes were, and that's gotta count for something. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and check out this video on the screen for another video YouTube thinks you'll like. Side note, I just found out Pepper got added to Fortnite. Not even joking.